So the frost giants pull back on the giant crane as the water below writhes with fury, splashing ice and chunks of crusted water up onto the shoreline where other giants stand by watching. They lean back as one below wheels the crank around faster and faster. Bursting up from the water is the largest orca the tribe has ever seen. Cheering begins as they swing it over to the land nearby. Frost giants fishing for orca. I have no other reason for that cutscene other than
Other than what?
it's really cool.
See, we need to go there because I need to know if Moosin in this world are also preyed upon by orca.
Most likely,
It's inevitable, really.
it really is. Wherever there are moose, there will be orca. Anyway, when I last left you guys, you were scrambling through some tunnels in a ruined elven city that had been sunk beneath the waves. Apparently, they had made a powerful weapon capable of inflicting massive damage, likely even death, upon a demigod. And you have been sent on this mission along with, at the behest of your friend Halkyon, one of your guild members, who was asked by his patron to go and retrieve this item so she can help defend the City of Lights beneath the waves, where her mother was killed. It's the last holdout of the good races and a lot of the bad races of the underwater kingdoms, as Dagon's forces have flooded through this part of the ocean, destroying everything in their path. So you went there. You made your way through the tunnel through some tunnels into the sunken city. You were attacked by a large aquatic purple worm, which you decimated pretty quickly. It did try to eat a few of you though, but not a big deal at all. So then you made your way inside the giant conch shell temple and found a dead guardian who you spoke to about the city, a little bit about the weapon. Found out that it was the creation of the weapon that actually cataclysm that sank the city, and that's it. That's where we're at.
Um, that is where we're at. Which map are we on?
You are on. I got you.
Thank you, sir.
This one.
There it is. Yep, we have to continue on up this tube. Yeah, because we just acquired a harpoon, a 15-foot harpoon for Thanok.
Spear and magic helmet.
Spear and magic helmet. On some armor, correct?
Did you see the name of this?
No,
The name of this map?
the place
For
Mark
you,
II.
Ryan.
So great. Freaking love it. I did not until you just pointed out. I probably would have. I kind of wish you wouldn't have said anything, but that's great.
I must have missed something.
Ryan really wanted the last name to be the place, and so
I don't even remember why I wanted it to be the name of the place.
Because we asked what the name of the map was or something like that, and Mike said the name of this place is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you
And
started
Ryan
thinking,
yelled out the place.
It's the place. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, that's. I'm pretty sure that is almost word for word exactly.
Guess
What
I just
happened.
decided that I wanted it to be named at the place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was
sounds
great.
about right.
So yeah, that's it. That's all you know. That's what's going on.
Mark II.
Yeah, place Mark II.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you equipped that spear but didn't attune to it.
Correct.
So
Oh, don't start that now.
I
And
think
I have the arsenal.
I'll give you
pack,
the arsenal pack. Yep.
But I'm not attuned to that either.
Not attuned to that either, which I wasn't either. Cause
Yeah. But I'm using it to at least stow this sucker so I can.
Still move around.
Yeah. Since it is over 3 times times as tall as I am.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like, do we have to revisit the conversation of how I'm able to move around with all my Gilgamesh-like weapons now?
We
No.
are now. I took your weapon back.
I mean, at the moment, do you have all of your weapons, or are you going to let him hold on to them while you're...
DM just said no, so I'm going with that. I just can handle it. The Othig's dwarf enough to be able to just figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
little trait that dwarves have. You can carry as many weapons as you can attach to yourself.
Yes. Well, excellent. Great. Then I think all there is to continue down this hallway, right?
Correct.
Probably.
Othig in the front, Thanik in the back, or are we doing it different this time?
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, I've got a decent AC now, so I can go in the back if you want.
I think we
Because you
always
need to check for
wanted
traps and stuff.
Othig in the back, because he's got the most movement. So even
Mhm.
Yeah.
if nothing comes up from behind,
Yeah.
he's not hampered the way we would be.
Yeah, then we'll put you up front,
Yeah.
checking for traps.
Yeah, use that new spear you got. Just
Yeah.
plow the way forward.
So you guys begin down the hallway, and it doesn't take you very far before you notice there's a smaller, much smaller archway than you're used to seeing in this place. You haven't seen a lot yet, but the way that is, this one kind of surprises you. You will actually have to stoop to get through it. It's smaller. And there is a glowing light coming from the other side of this room. So you're like down over here now.
Wow. And we could just see that there is light, not what's necessarily the cause of the emanating light.
Correct. I guess that's probably more accurate there. Being able to see into what appears to be a room a little bit, but the archway is really tiny.
Wow, that's really just for one person. I mean, that hallway's already only 5 feet wide. Jeez.
Yep.
Thanik, you might barely be able to shimmy through there.
Yeah. I get it. I'll shimmy.
Okay. Make a trap check for me. So you find that this door, as you're tapping away with your new spear, and there is some sort of energy field over this doorway. Now that you're closer to it, it looks like there's a small oval room on the other side.
That didn't even come up in the tracker.
There it
Yeah,
is. It just took a second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Not gonna go.
5 seconds.
Does it feel mechanical, or does it feel...
It's magical. It's pretty plainly magical.
Okay. I will do an Arcana check then.
Okay.
Is that what you want for like a magical trap?
Yes, I do.
I will
Yes.
do advantage because of Mav.
Or Jeff.
I was gonna say Mav gives you guidance. I give you advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
That's the typical.
Oh, hey.
Hey, look at that.
Nailed it.
That is
Earlier.
definitely going to be a nail it.
Boom, baby.
Oh, hey. So
Just
that's
crazy.
fantastic. So you scored high enough to realize that there's air on the other side of this. That the shimmering field you are dealing with is not indeed a trap, even though that's what you suspected at first. It's a barrier to keep water out. There's no water on the other side of it. The field makes it look like there is, but it's not.
So like there's no trap at all then.
Nope.
Okay. All right, then I'll go through.
Okay,
Head
you
first.
push through. You push through. It's a squeeze for the dwarves. Jeff will barely have to squeeze, but it's a squeeze for the dwarf. There's a little gut sucking going on and some hoof. And when you pop out on the other side, you're completely dry.
Oh, so dry. Like
And-
magically dry?
Yes.
Oh. That hair dryer.
Somebody prestidigitation you type dry. So you get through the other side, and you are immediately surprised to find yourself in a slightly different looking space than the archway showed. Like the space beyond the archway looked like more parts of the temple. This is a little different. It has been into a workshop. It has similar dimensions and architecture to it, but through the shimmer gate, it looked like just another piece of the temple. You are definitely in some sort of arcane workshop, and you hear hammering coming from behind some tables nearby.
What does it look like now that we've crossed through?
It looks more well worn. It looks dirtier. It yeah, looks more worn and dirty. It doesn't look like a different place, but it doesn't have the temple feel to it that it did on the other side.
And we hear hammering.
Yeah, sounds like somebody's working in here.
I will ask the group in telepathic bond. Should we be polite or should we be sneaky?
I think we should be sneaky. And then polite if needs be.
Okay.
I'm good at
I think
both.
I'll agree to that. I was gonna say polite at first, but as long as we can be polite before we get discovered. Hopefully.
Okay, so you make stealth checks then.
Wow.
It's so great.
Did I think we didn't have disadvantage with this armor?
Ooh,
Definitely
26.
have disadvantage with it.
Okay. Well,
Jeffrey's doing real good on the snicks. However, I don't think my friends are.
No, Fanak is terrible. Othig is more terrible. Because Fanak was actually not going to get noticed.
Oh, reroll that, right?
oh wait,
Oh,
yeah. I
It's
can.
disadvantage. Can he?
I
At
don't know why you
disadvantage?
wouldn't be able to. From me?
Yeah, I suppose you can.
So another disadvantage?
No, you just re-roll that dice and use the new result.
Yep.
Well, yeah. What if it's higher though?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What if it's higher?
So you drop the one, he'd get the 6. No. Yeah, that's how luck works.
Yeah.
With with luck, with advantage or disadvantage, you roll 3 dice,
Mm-hmm.
and you pick whichever one of the 3
For
dice.
mine, if you roll a 1, I just make you re-roll a d20 and you use that new dice roll. It's not re-roll to save.
we've
It's
never
just that's
done
true.
a disadvantage reroll.
I don't know abilities.
What's the name of that ability?
Bountiful luck. Your people have extraordinary luck, which you've learned to mystically lend your companions. When you see them falter, you're not sure how you do it. You just wish it, and it happens. Surely a sign of fortune's favor. As long as they are within 30 feet of you and you can see them, if they roll a 1 on a d20 for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, use your reaction. Let the ally re-roll that dice, and the ally must use the new roll of the dice. So that dice gets re-rolled. He rolled
So it
2
sounds
dice,
singular.
and the one of them was a 1, so he rolls that dice again.
And now that dice is a 12,
Correct.
and that's the roll.
Oh, but if it's at disadvantage, but you have to use the new dice, so.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's
Yeah.
singular anyway, so I think we did it right. I think that's right. think you don't.
It says. So here's what it says. When you this is page 173 of the PHP. When you have advantage or disadvantage in something in the game, such as Halfling's lucky trait, lets you re-roll the d20. You can re-roll only one of the dice. You choose which one. For example, if a Halfling has advantage on an ability and rolls a 1 and a 13, the Halfling could use lucky trait to re-roll the 1. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so
like, I
you're
don't know.
re-rolling the 1.
Yeah.
So
like,
it's
I
still
don't-
disadvantaged, so you still get the lower number. So you still
Yeah.
get the 6.
Oh, so I
but you
still
don't
get the
get the 1.
6. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I don't know why you
That
wouldn't
maths.
re-roll the lowest one. Obviously you would, and so but then
Yep.
you still take the lower of the 2.
Of the 2 that get rolled.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So it would be a
That maths
So
out.
you get a
6,
7?
6 plus 1. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I just as you were
Hey.
finding that, I just found that that's pretty much the internet consensus on the trait as well.
Yeah.
So, because Bountiful Luck does read a little different than Lucky and rerolls
Yeah.
and basic rerolls, but seeing as how the game is set up, like rerolls work like this, it defaults to if other rules do it like this. When there's a question to the wording of a different rule, it
Yeah.
defaults to what's already established first.
Yeah.
So. All right, so, but 6 is still quiet enough for him to not be noticed. You guys both are trying to sneak, and you fall down as everybody else just kind of looks over at you, and the hammering just continues without missing a beat.
I
Did
approve.
is it like Indiana Jones where we happen to pound right on the
Yeah. Yeah, it totally is.
So we fell right as the hammer hits.
Yep, pretty
That's
much.
totally what it is.
And so
As
the guy,
Einstein is
said it-
stamping books.
Yeah.
Yep. So you have not been discovered. You scramble forward a little bit, and you see a really, really odd sight. You see, and it reminds you of Billy, of Bill Dillaplop, but it's way too small. And it's a little bit more crustacean oriented. There is a lobster man here. He's only about 1.5 feet tall, and he is tinkering on something. And the only way you really know for sure that it's a man, and I suppose it's still even at this point a little bit to assume, is he has a giant, like, curly, like, antenna looking tentacled mustache and beard that give him a very masculine look.
He's a crustacean man?
He is a crustacean man.
Is this the first time we've seen a crustacean man?
This is the first time I've seen it.
But he looks like Bubbles.
A little bit. He reminds you of that because, well, it's a crustacean person.
And he's currently smithing.
He is smithing. He is working on some devices.
Is Othig able to discern if he is a quality craftsman?
I think that would take an investigation check, but that might draw attention. Right now, you're kind of all piled together, staring at this thing, going,
Yeah, very
"Oh."
Scooby-Doo in the doorway kind of moment.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's clearly at the top for some reason. I kind of just want to watch him for a second and see what he's doing. But
If you want, you can.
I'm okay to watch him for a minute or two.
I mean, do you guys just want me to like use a minor illusion in front of the doorway so he can't see us, or? John Cena.
I feel like there's nothing to be gained to just like if he's in the middle of something. I feel like it's just gonna continue.
Right.
So I feel like.
But what if we interrupt him and it doesn't continue? I kind of want to see what he's making.
I mean, I get that.
What if he tries to hide it from us? Hey, read his thoughts.
I was actually going to do that while you were making a minor illusion.
I'm gonna make a minor illusion.
Okay. You hide yourself with a minor illusion. Danak attempts to read his thoughts. Please roll your check. Your Arcana check.
What are his surface emotions? Is he content?
Okay. So that's 19. That's pretty good. Let me... counter roll on that. That is. Oh, that's.
Oh.
What's this guy's intelligence? He's very intelligent, actually. Okay, so you can't get through. You get surface level emotions that he's pleased with himself and he's near completion on his project. And you guys kind of watch as he tips his head to the side and smacks the other side of it like he's trying to get water out of his ear.
It's dry in here.
He bangs on his head a little bit.
Well, you want to let him finish then? I guess now you know.
I mean, I could just go in there myself looking like dude from the other room or something.
No.
I'm
Actually,
really good at
what's
stuff
gonna
like that.
What's gonna happen is Thanik immediately feels guilty.
Ha! For poking around in his brain.
Yeah.
You've been playing with the tadpoles too much.
No. This is actually an established thing that has never actually come up. But I don't pry into people's mind unless they give me reason to.
What did I do?
So I will introduce myself and apologize.
I'll give you a.
All right. So you introduce yourself. Are you stepping out of the illusionary area then?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear, "Oh, dang, damn it!" And he turns and aims a device. He uses it, and it's this. Oh. This. You watch as this small, looks like disc comes flying at you out of this device. He aims it at you, and you've seen.
It's a buzzsaw.
Yeah, it's a predator.
You've seen things like this before. It's similar to that. He's holding what looks to be a hand crossbow, but he is shooting this razor disc at you, and it's gonna hit you, and it's gonna hit you good.
Yeah, that's fine. I can't be crit. I know that was a crit, but
that was a crit. Okay, so.
I was gonna say that's helpful. I was going to ask if I could. Am I within 5 feet of him?
Of Thanak, he's right in front of you. Yeah.
I would like to, for the first time, utilize my paladin protection stance.
What's that do?
If an ally of mine within 5 feet of me is attacked, I can impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Oh,
do you
nice.
Have shield? Do you have a shield for
that?
Yeah,
I do.
You have a shield?
Yeah.
I had no idea you had a shield.
Dude, Jeffrey has been influenced by the granite backs. He's turned it into a right dwarf.
All right, good for him. Good for him.
All right, so it's still a very good roll.
Oh my gosh!
Yay! Either way, it's not a crit.
So I will re-roll the damage.
I'm so happy.
It is okay. So you still get smucked for 21 points of damage. This little blade catches you right in the neck, and when it hits you, everybody else watches little legs pop out of it and dig into Thanok's neck. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
Whoa.
Okay, that's good enough. You flex and you grab it and you yank it out, and so it turns and it tries to buzz into your hand as you're holding this thing, and so you rearrange your fingers real quick. You do take another 3 points of slashing damage as you're trying to get it angled right, and the crayfish is freaking out. He's scrambling at his thing. He's trying to reload his crossbow with something else, and he just starts screaming.
I would like to herald the granite backs.
Yeah, can I like hold on to this thing in a way where I can like examine it?
Yeah, it's you currently have it pinched so that the blade is like between your fingers, almost like a fidget spinner.
Okay.
And so it's not hit. This is a tiny robotic creature, not an actual blade.
Wait.
So he shot Ant-Man at me.
Sort of. More like Buzzsaw Man.
If Ant-Man had buzzsaws.
I'm gonna. Oh gosh. This guy's freaking out like crazy. Thanak
he's like seriously freaking out. He's looking for more weapons.
I'm gonna cast command on him.
I'm always looking.
Command?
Yep, and I'm just gonna be like, settle, bro. Harsh your mellow.
What's your spell save DC?
Currently is a 18, I believe. I gotta look.
And what is that against? Is that a wisdom? Pretty sure it's a wisdom.
Command is
Most
a
spells
wisdom
like that are.
saving throw. Yep.
Hey, he's gonna make it. And he says, settle this! And he grabs a glowing crystal and he hucks it over the table at you guys. I need you guys to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, that's really good. Jeez.
Okay, so Jeff, you'll take 6 fire damage, and everybody else will take 12.
Why
Well,
was that an advantage?
not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's interesting. Hal
Yeah.
takes all 12.
I wouldn't still have haste.
No,
Oh,
you
that's
wouldn't.
what that's from. That's what that's
So, hang on.
How much damage
Roll
did
it.
you say? it
Yeah.
was?
All right. He needs
6
to...
if you passed it. The DC was 18, so a lot of you guys just missed it.
So mine would have been 6 plus 6.
All right.
Okay, so you'll take 12 points then.
If he's not settling down, I'm gonna actually stop him. And I'm gonna try and stop him, I guess. But I'm gonna use my unsettling words and be like, Lobster Man, Bubbles is not gonna be happy with you. And then I'm gonna cast Hold Monster on him.
Can we just tell him that we're not here to
Yeah,
harm him?
while you're
I
doing
tried that
I'm just
already.
gonna- I'm going to put my arms up, except for the little guy that I'm holding.
Yeah,
Just
same.
not-
Same.
Just calm down.
And he'll remove a 9 from his Wisdom saving throw to Hold Monster.
Okay. Why isn't it?
Jeez.
What?
Wow.
So it is still -9. He has +5, so you still get him.
Good.
Actually, hold on. Maybe you don't. Where's that? Yep, you do. I rolled the d10 and added it. But you still get him by 1 point.
Good.
So he freezes like right as he's reaching for a switch on a counter behind him.
All right. Let's start explaining
I'm
ourselves.
going to just pick him up and move him like a foot away
Mhm.
from the switch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it.
When you pick him up, you realize under his little like mustache thing, he has this metal device that goes into his mouth, and there are these tubes that go down under his carapace.
It's a water. It's his breather. He's breathing with it. It's a water
Yeah,
tank
maybe.
instead of an air tank. I'm
So
going
you set him
to
away.
attempt to talk to this guy and tell him that we are not here to hurt him, and if he just would settle down for a second when I let him go, we'd like to talk. If not, we're gonna put you in a hole somewhere and not let you out of it. Settle down. We're the Granite Backs,
Persuasion
by
check.
the way.
We have to make actionable threats. That there's no hole around here, so stop saying crazy crap.
There
Yeah,
are
we're the
holes
Granite Backs,
in the
we'll make
in the thing back there. There's water coming out of them. There's plenty of holes I can shove a body in.
Oh my gosh.
You said persuasion.
Hey, we want to talk to you, and if we can't, we're gonna harm you.
Well, if you won't let us, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of how we work. If somebody won't let us talk to them, we do harm them. I'm not
Oh
lying.
my gosh.
28.
Okay. So you don't know if he settled it down or not.
I will ask Thanok if he has.
Hey, this guy settled down.
No, I'm not gonna find that for you.
Well, I'm not asking you to like pry into his brain. Just if he's actually calming down or not. I'm not great at insight, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it.
Actually,
It
I
would
am
be
really good at
hard to
insight.
insight a crayfish man.
But
Yeah.
and that's why I was like, I didn't know if you could just read his surface thoughts and tell if he has complied or not.
I can. I'm just.
Did I
not
find a
going.
salamander though?
You're just not going to. All
No,
right.
there are unfortunately no salamanders
With
Well,
a 14, I doubt that. Come on.
all right. Well, I can only hold him for so long. So if you want to say anything or do anything in this time,
I will just stand in between him and that button.
here. Okay.
That's it.
So he starts to come out of the hold person, and he immediately starts moving his joints around, and he does that thing where a crayfish tucks its tail under itself and he skitters backwards, and his pinchers are out very threateningly.
Yeah.
He's like, bring it, bring it.
I'll put my hands up. Not here to hurt you.
Yeah.
Don't want to hurt you.
He's, who are you? Where'd you come from?
I already told you we're the Granite Backs.
Yeah.
What's a granite back?
That's our clan name.
We're a granite back. We are a granite back.
We are.
You know, dwarves, they have clan names. Granite Back is the clan name.
Right.
Yep. And you're a crayfish man. I assume related to Bubbles, and I'll actually say her name. I don't actually know her name, but I will assume that because that's the thing we've been taught to do.
He makes a very distasteful sound when you mention Bill Dillaplop's name.
I will in true fashion for every time this has ever happened, I'll just say breakups are hard. Because every single time this has happened ever in D&D, I feel compelled to just say it. So, breakups are hard. I understand.
He would inform you that she does not have the best reputation where he comes from. So
how could that?
Yeah, that tracks.
Like, can I just feign disapproval or disbelief? Like, be like, how could that possibly be true? She's the greatest.
Yeah, nope.
Like, clearly, like, rolling my whole head instead of rolling my eyes. And then, I don't know, I'm the only real mouthpiece at the moment, and I shouldn't be because I only had an hour of sleep last night. In my brain, I'm just gonna be like, Thanak, help. I don't know how to talk to crayfish.
You could just explain to them the situation of how we came to be down here
Yeah,
and why we're down here.
That.
Okay.
Bad. We need to do that.
Then make a persuasion check.
Okay. Do I want to? Do we don't know anything about the City of Light, right? And whether or not it is a.
You know, it's part of a mer kingdom.
Right, but would we know if there are people out there that would hate it, or if this guy is a member of Dagon's allegiance just by taking a gander at him?
It's entirely possible.
Yeah. All right, persuasion. 25.
From what I remember, this city sank because of Dagon, right?
No.
No, it's
Weren't
sank
they looking
because
for
they created the weapon.
A weapon that
wasn't
could
that
kill
to fight-
Dagon.
Yes,
No.
it was to fight Dagon, wasn't it?
No, it was a different god.
They were honestly. It sounded like it was just one of those.
We want to kill the
People
god.
do because they can.
Oh, okay.
You know, because people
Wow.
figure out they can kill a god. So give me the stat block.
This weapon
Yeah.
just has the capacity to kill a god, not necessarily
Yeah.
extract
Potentially.
Okay. That's right, because
Or
you said Dagon doesn't really have a presence up here.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So you explain the situation to him, and his little eye stalks kind of bend forward, and his whiskers like come out of his mustache and start to feel around the room. And he says, "Well, you smell all right."
Thanks. We did just take a bath.
He puts his tail comes out just a little bit, and he scuttles forward.
Yeah. I will. Can I ask if there's anything that we can do or say in this moment? I don't. Tony's really struggling. I'm sorry. Trying to find
A sign of good
some
faith.
sort of a question of like, hey, what can we do to show you that we're not here to kill you, not here to hurt you, and maybe we can help one another.
He just says that you scared him real bad. He hasn't seen anybody else here in the 33 years he's been here.
You've been swinging that hammer for 33 years.
Oh, I'm making different things.
Are you an
I will-
artificer?
Yeah, I will show him my my snowman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he thinks that's cool.
I forgot I
Yeah,
got that for you.
Because I think everything that he's been doing is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand the shapes. Like he doesn't. He's like, well, it obviously is made to look like one of you that has roundness, not just in their stomach, but in their legs.
Yeah, so he thinks all like
Humanoids
look alike.
are circular. I mean, we think
Yeah.
all crawfish look alike, so.
So yeah, but he examines it and he asks where you got it. He said the craftsmanship is pretty spectacular.
Santa Claus.
I mean, does he have the time to for me to tell him the entire story of
Chris Kringle.
of what's his name? What's the Santa Claus name?
Julianson Stonecutter.
There it
yeah,
is.
Yeah, Stonecutter.
He would say that they call him Father Iceberg.
Excellent.
Fitting. That's
Excellent.
fitting.
So
I like Father Iceberg. We may have to propagate that. I like that name.
Yeah.
So he asks if you would mind if he can take the snowman apart. He promises he can put it back together.
So from my understanding, I have it's a find familiar spell, so I can recast it.
Oh, is it?
Put him back together.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be fine with that because he's not really sentient. He's
Yeah.
From my understanding, yes, I would be fine with that.
Okay. So you watch him very expertly use some of his lower legs and his big claws to work some tools that they're crudely made. You think he might have made them on this side of wherever he came from, but he uses them quite expertly and opens your snowman up and looks at the gear mechanisms and all that type of stuff. And you've never even opened up your snowman. Inside of it is a snowflake that spins as a power source.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So he closes it back up and it starts to flitter around and fly some more.
That's very cool. I don't have anything with me that I made, do I?
My whip.
Some of your gear.
Oh, I do have a whip.
Yep, that'd be the most impressive made.
Yeah, I'll if I can.
Yeah, I'll let him look at it. I don't mind. Oh, at this point, I'll also do some proper introductions. I'll let him know my name is Jeff, and ask if anyone else wants to introduce themselves, and I'll try and get his name as well.
He introduces himself as Herman.
Herman.
Yeah, because why not?
I love
Herman the Merman.
No, Herman.
Hermit.
Like a hermit crab.
He talks about how one side of his family are crabs, and they think it's funny to.
Mm-hmm.
He just shakes his head.
Yep. What
funny.
What specifically are you?
Well, what are you?
Well, I'm a halfling
Dwarf.
posing as a dwarf.
He says, "Well, I'm a crawfish."
Like an actual crayfish.
No.
Oh.
He didn't say crayfish.
Oh, sorry,
He said
crawfish.
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 He's like, well, yeah, but
Big and sentient.
you've never seen a crawfish before?
Not one that can talk.
Not one that looks like you, I guess. Not this big.
I mean,
Well-
everything's big to me, but
I guess to be fair, I've never seen anything else that can talk here. So,
the guy down the hallway was pretty chatty.
the body?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You just gotta ask it the right questions.
Oh. You found Jim?
Was that his name?
I don't think we found out his name.
That's
He
what-
was
didn't
super
ask his
chatty,
name.
but he didn't give us his name.
Super chatty. We only had 5 questions.
He just looks really confused at that. He's like, yeah, I talk to Jim sometimes too. And then he starts to scuttle around his workshop.
Oh, this guy's a
And-
loon.
And he starts to explain to you, like, over 30 years ago, he was just cruising across the floor of the sea, and he found a magical device that he started to monkey with, and then he was here.
Were you smart before that?
Were you smart before you came here?
No.
Yeah.
I think what he means to say is, were you like this before you came here? Like, did this?
Well, I wasn't like anything else.
Oh my god.
Can we see the thing you found?
It stayed there.
It stayed there. Where is there?
And he uses a big grand term for it. You would all know this as the plane of water.
Oh.
What does he call it?
The Sea of Primordia, and then there's some other titles to it. It's almost like referring to the United States as the constitutional republic of the conjunction of states.
Nice. Okay.
That's awesome.
Based on what he's saying, do we think he found the thing we're looking for, or no?
No, probably not.
Okay, that's more what I was trying to fish out of him.
Fish.
Yeah.
Have you adventured much inside this conch cell, or?
Around the shell, he's ventured a lot. Outside of the shell, he doesn't go much except to maybe scurry to see if he can find something to eat for a bit. Because there's things out there that'll eat him.
Yeah, big purple worm.
Yeah, he's run into them.
Them
Killed it. One.
He says, "Oh, there's more."
Yeah. Okay.
Has he ever found a really big spear?
No, but there is a sealed door at the other end of the complex he can't get through.
What other?
Is it mechanical or magical?
He says it's definitely magical.
All right.
That's what my little blade buddy is for. I was hoping maybe he could cut through some of the area around the side of it.
Hand
Hey,
him back.
Speaking of that thing is super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool.
That's super cool.
Can
We trade.
tell us how you made that?
He says sure. Basically, what he did is he created a small robotic creature, very similar to the snowman. And some of this stuff, which is overly technical for most of you, gets it. It's basically a little mechanical where when it is fired from the device, it starts the blade spinning and to some degree keeps a sense of inertia going on the blade. It uses what's already there to generate power to keep it spinning, so it's draining as it goes, but the initial hit is pretty heavy duty.
That's legit.
Yeah. Does he want,
A contract?
like, I mean, is he happy here?
No, he hates it here. He's been stuck here by himself for 30 years.
Yeah, do you want to come with us?
Well, what are you doing?
Right now, looking
Okay.
for a spear, but
Hang
big
on.
picture, saving the world.
Yep. So maybe he wants to help us find the spear, and then like if he wants, I think we offer him a contract to come back and we could just tell him what it is that we do,
Put him to work tinkering in the keep.
and let him know like what he would be able to do.
He might get
If he
upset
wanted
if
to.
Bubbles shows up, though. Just tossing that out there.
Yeah. Well.
She's disreputable on the plane of water. Is that what I've picked up, like, from our conversation? Is that basically what he's saying?
Yes.
Okay. That makes me happy. I mean, she is a trash god, so... Not like what Alex calls Grumsh, an actual trash god. As in a bottom feeder god. Yeah, let's see if we can... Do you want us to try and convince him, or are we just asking
Yeah.
first?
I mean, he said, what are we doing? And we explained it, and...
Yep. Make a persuasion check.
All right, I can do that. Ka-chow. No,
Is
that's
Mav,
not awful.
does
22.
Mav have persuasion?
I have no idea.
I feel
That's
like he should.
a wonderful question.
Well, let me check.
If he doesn't, he probably has a set of letters that allows him to.
He is trained in persuasion.
All right.
So this would be
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, much better.
an instance where that could be helpful. So he says, yeah, he's kind of interested in that, but you got a workshop and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He's pretty excited about it. And then he says, do you have any devices that allow me to breathe the water out there?
You breathe salt water, don't you?
Well, that is salt water out there. I'm one of the freshies.
Oh.
We live by a freshwater lake.
Great. I need to leave this room. I can breathe air in fresh water. I can't breathe that out there.
Oh.
We can add him to our water breathing spell,
Yeah, I can do that.
and then
Okay.
that would probably bypass it for the moment.
That means the last 24 hours, so yeah.
Oh yeah,
He,
okay.
he says well, you bring that up, and he says that that should work. That is what he was using when he was exploring in the ocean and not his river, where he's from. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
should do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll add him to that spell. I'll add him to Rary's telepathic bond as well.
Okay.
I also want to ask him if he has any skill sets or talents, and we have some extra like accoutrement that maybe we can gear him out a little bit, so at least he's not.
Is he like prepared or willing that we know of? Like if we, are in the continuing of exploration, if we get into a fight, like is he like I'm gonna hop in on that, or would he be rather like no, I don't want to pay any part of that?
I was kind of asking that too.
He says he's a seasoned explorer,
Ooh.
but he hasn't been in a lot of fights.
That's
So
okay.
Let's
he
keep him away from.
typically hides when there's
from that.
danger about, and then sneaks in later.
Yeah,
the
we're not.
last time,
We're not going to
the
try and
last
get him
time
killed.
that I
but-
was, the last time that I was in a D&D group, and the DM gave us a
Companion.
an NPC to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
We got him immediately killed.
Immediately,
Immediately.
within seconds.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yes. He was
Even
very
though he asked expressly that you'd keep him safe.
Yes.
So he does say that he's good with crossbows.
Oh, all right.
And he kind of has that one, but it's when you look at it, it's geared towards his claws, towards his pinchers. It's not a trigger; it's compression. It fires with compression.
Oh, he's a mantis shrimp.
Oh.
So, pistol shrimp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another name for him. He's
Gosh.
also pretty good with a spear.
Ooh, we have a bunch of those.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Mav's got a really nice one. He's not using it at the moment. And by him not using it, I mean Andy's not using it.
So, if this goes well, I am as much as I am very accustomed to this item and I don't ever use it. I just like the look of it.
Uh-huh.
I am. If this goes well, I'm totally gonna give him the cloak of the Eastwoods.
Yes. Yes.
Because it will help with his ranged attacks.
Yeah, and he needs it because he is a pistol shrimp.
Yeah, he's a
Duster?
pistol shrimp with a duster.
Adam, I love that you will
Eastwood.
sacrifice your aesthetic to increase the party aesthetic.
Yeah,
I wish we had fan art to draw.
Oh,
Yeah, I know,
man.
To
seriously.
draw Herman Eastwood.
yeah.
I don't know how
Hey,
you haven't conscribed someone for this yet.
They are expensive. All of our friends are actual professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
hold on.
fortunately. Yeah, I don't have anything that I can lend him, so I'm assuming he can't wear armor just from the looks of him. But
I think his carapace would be his armor.
yeah, we'll do our best to keep him safe, and I will ask him politely if I can remain within melee of him to help keep him safe, and if it is possible to I don't know, ride on his shoulders or something.
He's definitely not big enough to be ridden.
I'm
Yeah,
so small,
he's
though.
Jeff. He's actually probably only about your size.
Oh, I was picturing somebody way bigger.
No, he's not big at all.
I was literally picturing a centaur-sized lobster man.
No,
No.
Look at the size of this room. I like it. Just
he
made
was
sense
behind
to
a
me.
table.
Sure, centaurs can hide
room
behind
is
Really
tables.
big to begin with.
Yep.
Anyway,
No, he's not big.
I was picturing Larry the lobster from SpongeBob.
So
Not big either.
no. All right. So he says he'll be more than happy to follow you out of this place because he's really lonely here. He's only had William to talk to.
Who's William?
Isn't that what I called the skeleton?
Jim.
Jim.
Jim. He's only had Jim to talk to.
Who doesn't talk back?
Yep.
doesn't talk back.
You didn't
At
ask
least
the right
not-
questions.
Probably. Didn't have the right spell.
I mean, we
Oh,
lost
bye.
Mike, I think. Yep, it looks like I lost Mike. I think he's back though. So yeah, we'll add him here. How does Halcyon feel about this guy?
Alcuin thinks he's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, this is another talking creature from the sea. This is really pretty cool.
Yeah.
Legit. I'd ask how Mav feels about him, but he doesn't know right now. Let's backtrack.
If he's looking at his Discord, he's trying to figure out why a crustacean's boil house thing just showed
That's
up.
probably
It's like,
true.
what are they doing?
As
Hey,
far
Mike,
as
can you take holy weapon and haste it off me?
Sure can.
as far as things within this space that you might need, is there anything you want us to take with us? Should we gather some of your things? We do have the ability
he
for
says-
some storage.
He does care. He does like start to put some of his stuff together. His tools are fashioned for his claws, so he's gathering those.
Okay.
He's got quite a valuable trove of materials that he's scavenged from the city.
I will offer him for
so-
the time being the bag of holding space
Okay,
because
he's
we don't
more
have a
than
lot in there
happy
right now.
to do that. So you see him putting in like there's hunks of metal armor,
Yeah.
and vases and just pieces of stuff that he's pulled out of everywhere. He starts dumping all that into.
Oh, we
the
have
bag.
somebody local. Let's when we get if we want to do it now, but otherwise ask him if there's any parts of the city that he knows there's valuable things that may have been a little bit more dangerous, that if there's anything we want to get before we leave, now that he has some companions, if there was anything that he was like eyeing up but couldn't get at, maybe we could help him with that before we head out.
Yeah, he did say he was an explorer, so
Yep.
he knows.
He did. He would tell you that most of the buildings they've been down here way too long.
Mhm.
The things that ended up down here were built for the surface,
Mhm.
and they did not endure. So most things, unless they were in a container,
Yeah.
that kept the water out, have just already crumbled.
Yeah, I was thinking more of like if there was anything like where something had taken up residence that you wouldn't screw with, but saw that there were some resources beyond or within.
Oh,
So-
there's those types of places too. There's the giant octopus to the south that
Dude.
he doesn't want to screw with. There's
Well, from my understanding, your new companions have ripped the arms off of giant octopi before. So
he's like,
Yeah.
well, how big were they?
if I remember right, the beast was a monstrosity beyond measure.
That was a worm.
Oh, was it?
It was a
I
worm.
thought there were octopus in there.
Yeah,
Oh, the
I think it had,
octopus.
like,
Never mind.
tentacles, but it was a segmented worm creature.
The octopus were Phil's.
Mm.
Yep. That was my fault.
Yep. He starts to
Oh, right.
describe this thing, and he talks about tentacles the size of the room you guys are in.
Dude.
So he stays away from the south part of the city because of that thing.
Rightly so.
Guys, that could eat Foz.
Yep.
Did we just find the thing that made it so that this area is like probably really dangerous for Fosrugul?
Yeah, but he's not
Well,
in this area.
He can't fit down here either.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But that doesn't mean it doesn't go out to hunt.
We did find the area where it's like it warns you in the UI. It says you're not high enough level to be.
Oh,
here.
everything has skulls on it
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of levels and numbers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
like that.
Herman would explain to you that he has seen the octopus eat purple worms. So
Wow.
I mean, yeah, but
he's aware.
Is
I
it
mean,
a
we could have
beast
eaten that purple worm if we wanted.
or is it a monstrosity? Is it a beast? Is it tameable? Is it rideable? Granite backs on a giant squid.
We need
Yeah.
to find the spear.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
getting.
it's
I mean,
probably it-
I get sidetracked way too
it's
easy.
probably rideable at its size. If you know.
You dominate it,
Mhm.
subdue it, hump it into
I mean,
submission.
sounds like you could put a small island on it if you subdued it. So
Let's get it.
like it might be a small island unto itself.
Guys, I know we have a lot of things that we should be doing. I really just want to conquer the ocean.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's how Thanak was with the Astral Sea. We
Yeah,
should go
yeah.
home, but I
Yeah.
could stay
But-
here forever.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we'll help him gather his things, spend a little bit of time here with him, make sure that he's got everything he wants, and then we'll go to that door that he was talking about, backtrack, and
Okay.
has
So
anything
he
ever
is
come
going-
down in here? Has anything else ever come down in here?
Every once in a while he gets some other like, and he looks really uncomfortable. Tells you this. Some other lesser crustaceans that have come down here and never made it back out.
As in, you ate them?
He hangs his whiskers real low.
Oh.
Hide your shame,
Oh.
you cannibal.
He had to survive.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did. He did have to survive. And every once in a while, he'll get some other like weird deep sea fish or some worm type creatures will swim through here.
Mhm. But
He said
nothing
he's
sentient.
taken advantage of everything that has come through, but nothing sentient has ever come through.
Gotcha. Cool.
So he
cool.
takes you down to the fork of the hallway, and then you head south, and it wraps around and descends down again.
This guy's cool. I like him.
And so then you find two more rooms that are across the hall from each other shortly after that. These again have cold water vents in them.
I'll ask him if he has any idea what those are. If he's found any reason or what they're for, or where maybe it comes from.
He's almost positive they come from the plane of water, but they're one way only. They're only outs, not ins.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
How?
He thinks this is just his speculation after what he's seen in the city and the things that he's figured out about the city. He thinks that these tunnels used to be filled with water, except for certain areas of them, like his room that he transformed into a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that the water came from the plains. He thinks it used to shoot out the top of the shell and like flow through the city like reservoirs.
Like a fountain.
Yeah, so he thinks that these vents generate water from the plane of water, and that, I mean, so basically, like, when this thing would have been at the surface,
Mm-hmm.
this being the lowest part of it, would have been submersed underwater, but also that it was being supplied with that water from the plane of
Yep.
water.
Mm-hmm. That's his theory.
So it would have forced all the natural water out then, really.
But I mean, water from the plane of
How-
water is pure. So
How I don't know the word I'm looking for. Familiar, I guess. Is he with magic in general?
He's got a pretty good working knowledge of it. He is not a magic user, so to speak, but he knows that a lot of times tinkering involves harnessing the weave in order to make his
Okay.
creations work. So he understands how to draw from it and tap from it. He has no personal skill in that though,
Okay.
only in his creations, and he can
So
make
he-
magic items. So he knows how to
Yeah.
imbue an item.
And he has like an academic understanding of it.
mm-hmm. He can
Mhm.
form the weave. He cannot create it or manipulate
Yes.
it.
So, I guess I'll ask him about when we cast Speak with Dead on Jim. It got like the water got warm,
Oh, that did
Didn't
happen.
it?
Yeah.
No, it got colder.
Was it
or it
cold?
got colder. And then that's
Yep.
right. And then as soon as the spell ended, then it went back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And which was startling because you were already near one of the cold water vents, and it got colder
yeah.
because the water down here is in the city because it's so close to all the volcanic activity
Mhm.
is generally warm, even though you're in the North Arctic. So it should be cold. So in those rooms it was cold, and then it got colder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So does he have any idea of why that would be the case?
Yeah.
It is most likely just because the wherever they're drawing the water from the plane of water is somewhere deep.
And then the magic Mav had actually commented on last week when your manipulating things from beyond the grave, that magic does tend to manifest itself in a like a chill on the back of your neck and things like that. Mav had mentioned that last week.
Yeah. Here's my question: Is if we use magic, are we at risk of pulling something from the plane of water here?
I would think between you and Mav, you're high enough arcanists to know that as long as you're not messing with a portal, you're probably okay.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, but don't these drains have, I mean, essentially portals that they're
These are
flooding
jets.
water?
Yep. But
Somewhere
these operate more like a jet. These are inserting
Okay.
water, so and it has to come from some sort of portal or tear or
Yeah,
you
that's
know
what I'm saying.
gateway.
We're not
going to
mess with that. No.
Besides all this, so when we told him the story about the spear, does he think that there might be any correlation between like the water being supplied from the plane of water here for the creation of a spear on the scale of what we described to him? Like, is there any correlation there? Like necessity is what I'm asking.
Like cooling a nuclear reactor.
Maybe I don't know, or like it was required in like the magical creation process for it.
He doesn't think so because he doesn't think the spear was made here. At least not any place in here that he's been. His tools in his workshop are all from him, and this place doesn't strike him as the place you would create an object. So far, he doesn't know what's beyond that door.
Right.
But
this has so far been more of a place you worship something.
Yeah. He would say though that freezing cold water and cooler water is often used to quench blades that are being forged in metal that's being forged to harden it and strengthen it. So your thought process along the blacksmithing route isn't a bad one. He just hasn't seen any facilities here or any style that would be that. However, he would say if whatever this thing is stayed hot, then you might need a place like this to cool it down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were told that in using it, it would consume everything. So.
Well, the user, for sure, right?
Mm-hmm. And we don't know what type of consumption that would be, but fire consumes.
Well, left room or right room?
Let's check the left one first, I guess. See if we can find another gym.
You do not.
Just empty?
Just empty.
Okay.
And the right room?
Right room is, well, it's got one of those vents in it. They both have those cold water vents in it.
Yep.
The right room, there is...
These rooms are slightly bigger than the other ones? Is that accurate?
Yep. These are bigger. There is more water coming through them. These ones, there is...
are we continuing in a downward fashion?
Yes. You are moving down. In this room, it looks like at one point in time there was some sort of aquatic roper down here, but it is long dead. But when it died, it turned more coral and stone-like, so its mouth is hanging open and its arms are dangling, but it's no longer alive.
Oh, all right. I guess either ask the lobster man or check it and see if it's been looted.
Oh yeah, he said he found this thing a long time ago. Scares him. He doesn't like it.
Didn't have anything inside of it?
No. And he tried using some of its pieces to make stuff, but it's too brittle.
Like a coral roper?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Document that, I guess. Then we'll proceed on. Yeah, keep heading up the windy road.
Oh!
Jeez.
I had a feeling this is going to be a long meeting for him. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. All right.
His bosses.
I just want to drop a note on him. I wanted to talk to him about something after the game today.
Portals, Mike. Portals. Did he get your
What
rig
about
set up yet?
Yeah, it's actually sitting here, but I couldn't get. It's only got one true HDMI port. The other, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like an HDMI cable, but one side is square.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit bigger. It's got 3 of those, and
Yeah.
they're better
Display port.
quality, but I need the adapter.
Gotcha.
And I it was a 6.5 hour trip home today because there was a bad accident, and it like the traffic was backed up through multiple exits on the interstate. So yeah, it instead of 5 hours, it took me an extra hour and a half to get home.
Dang, dude.
So I didn't have time to get most of it set up. I am using one of my new monitors right now, and I
Nice.
do have stuff downloading in the background on my rig. So
Very nice.
next week for sure.
And then we could probably send it back to recording on your end.
Yeah, we probably could. All right. So yeah, you found a dead creature. He does tell you that he's seen others that are living out in the city.
Really?
So,
Oh, other those roper things.
yes, yep.
Okay.
That's something that he's been able to sneak up on and take care of. But he has seen them. He says their coral isn't too good against his shell, so they lash at him and he just hunkers down and crawls across the ground and they can't quite get a grip on him and takes care of business.
Okay.
So you guys are going to want to head on, and then you get to the door. It's a big shell-like door. It's a spiral. It reminds you of a seashell, but it makes a spiral down to the center where it's got a little point, almost like the back of a hermit crab shell would have. But it's not pointed like that. It's definitely flat, but it's got a little bit of raisedness to it.
Nice.
Oh, I'll ask him. Did he make the? This might have already been asked. But did he make that room with the that we found him in, with the separation of the water? Did he make that?
Portal?
No, he found it that way.
Yeah, that's what I inferred from it as
Yep.
well.
Which is this is one of the first places he came when he showed up outside. He took refuge inside of the shell to get away from the giant sharks, and then he started to explore down here and found that room and realized he could breathe in it. So
Okay.
he's stayed there ever since.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We'll have to check that out. That's some cool magic. That's some
Yep.
booyah magic right there.
Yeah, because if he goes in salt water, he can only stay in salt water about an hour before he drowns. So that has also impeded some of his exploration as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, because it would be nice. This is long-term thinking, but it would be nice to get him a room where it's the same effect, just reversed. It's just a bunch of you walk into it and it's all
water.
that he.
It's a fishbowl.
Yeah, he would like that too. He does fine in the oxygen, but he gets really dried out.
Yeah.
So
I bet Marilee could probably produce that pretty easily.
I think we could make that happen as the granite backs.
Otherwise, we can just make his room in the river.
If anybody on the planet can make that, it's the granite bags.
True. Maybe Ulrin.
Ulrin
So-
is not nearly creative as we are.
No, he would be if it involved having a waterbed in a water room.
he's probably already got plans for that.
Yeah.
Just saying. If it's got anything to do with bedrooms, he's
Yeah.
in.
You know, he doesn't just like that. He likes a good party. He likes eating. He likes,
You
funny
literally
adventures.
do the Austin Powers voice, and I can't think of anything other than, "Are you Randy, baby?"
Austin Powers does other things too.
He does.
Yeah, he's a man
I
of
don't-
international mystery.
He saves the world. He drives his car around.
Yeah, in that
Does
hallway,
backflips
back
into
and
his
forth.
car.
All right. Yeah. Did we find?
How do you want to deal with the door?
Oh, that's right. There's a door. Let's investigate
Oh,
it.
I didn't hear this part.
Check it for traps and magic.
Yeah, I will look at the door, but he's already looked at it, so I don't know how much I'll. Jeez.
Reroll
Let's
that.
try that again. Much better.
Much better.
Now he points out to a few places where it was trapped, you find signs of trapping, but he's already dealt with those things.
Okay.
Um, yeah, one was particularly pointy. He says, and he points to all these places where spears would have shot out of the wall and stabbed whoever tried to access this. So whatever's on the other side, if it's closed, you're not supposed to get to it.
Yeah,
Is there hinges?
No,
more of an organic.
Yeah, so that's the question. How does this? How do like? What would lead us to believe that this is a door and not just a wall?
he says, why would you have a tunnel spiral further down just to run into a wall?
Because that's funny.
These people don't strike him as funny.
Other than that, I mean, how do we know that this?
Would the door buckle under the pressure of being impacted from an underwater Jeff missile?
I mean, if I cast Thunderwave as you're throwing me, probably.
Oh my gosh.
He says also, you don't trap a dead end hallway. I mean, maybe, but why would you do it in a building like this? It's just there's too much about it. The structure is different. The feel of it is different.
I'll just ask him if he's ever heard of a creature called a kobold.
It's a blockade of some kind, and there's something on the other side of it.
Launching Jeff torpedo tube number 1.
Does Mav's detect magic pick up anything?
No, does not.
So it's not magical, it's mechanical? Or at least the door itself is. Maybe
something
not its
about
operation. If we tap
also,
on it,
detect magic only goes through stone, not far.
Right, I was just wondering if the fascia itself had some sort of magic.
Doesn't seem to be.
Is it hollow on the other side?
I can cast Pass Wall on this.
It's not hollow.
Sorry, I meant like if I knock on it, can I hear as though the space on the other side would be hollow?
It does not sound like it.
Okay.
So I can cast Pass Wall.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not 20 feet thick,
right,
that should go through it.
And if it is 20 feet thick, we're 20 feet further to try something else.
Jet missile.
I can cast Pass Wall twice.
So 40
but
feet.
If it's 40 feet
thick,
then this is not
a door.
Door.
It's no longer a door.
Yeah.
It's a wall that or it's the ground and we're just digging a tunnel.
Yeah.
You said thick, really thick.
Thick. It's a thick door. I agree with that approach unless there is a proper way to open it as if it were an actual portal. Pass wall would not get us into an extradimensional space.
Correct.
If this opens into somewhere, not somewhere. I feel like I said that just like Henry would. I hate what I just did. You're going somewhere, but you're not going somewhere.
But there's also no magical...
On this side of it. We don't know what happens once it opens. I mean, I would absolutely have a bedroom door that opens into my mansion, but not have the door to the mansion open when you open the door.
Sure, but then Pass Wall would open up into...
An empty room.
No.
The ground.
Oh.
No, if there's a portal in the wall,
mm-hmm.
and I put Pass Wall,
mm-hmm.
it would create a 20-foot hole tunnel.
Right.
But it wouldn't get rid of the portal.
It may also not activate the portal.
Correct, it might not activate.
Right. So let's look around and see if we can find a way to activate this door. Does anybody else have investigation? I can't remember.
I do.
I will assist your investigation check. We'll have Mav give you a guidance. And I'll actually give you a bardic inspiration on this. I'm just going to slap you on the butt and be like, open the door.
All right. 17 it is. Not getting away from that.
32. And what exactly are you looking for? Just some way to open the door?
Why'd
you add a D10? Oh, bardic inspiration.
Bardic inspiration.
Yeah. I am looking for anything.
Yeah,
Any
out of
kind
place
of
or in place.
uh, candle holder to pull. I'm looking for
Mhm.
any kind of, you know what I
Words to
mean? Like any
read.
kind of
Yep.
pressure plate, maybe any kind of.
So unfortunately, the way this area is constructed, you don't find anything that might give you a clue on how to open this door.
Okay. Okay.
Bet Jim knows.
Might not know.
He might not know, but I bet he does.
Well,
Wait, hold
unfortunately,
on.
we
I
already
need to go
talked
back to that thought. We asked Jim what we would need to proceed, and I can't remember what his statement was.
I don't think you asked him what you would need to
I don't.
proceed.
Yeah, I don't.
We asked him
recall
about what the perils were beyond, and he mentioned the Guardians.
Yep.
We asked,
You asked him what he was,
and
and
he
he
said he
says
was
he
a
was
Guardian.
one of the 10 guardians.
questions.
Or was
We
it 7?
asked-
No, because no, I made a comment
Yeah.
about him being the deep.
If you would have asked him how to pass into an area, I would have told you something very specific that you would know,
Yep.
because Jim would have known it.
Right.
We didn't know what to ask Jim.
No,
why
no, we didn't.
Find ourselves in this position.
Trying to think here. Yeah, Adam, I guess nothing that I have.
Come to think of it, we always question dead people first. We should probably do that later, but just observation.
Yeah,
like,
but if we're
I
always
like,
only moving forward, then we'll never go back to see him.
right. Yeah, I don't have anything that I think can help us here. I don't know what Mav has, so if you just
Not-
want to try,
He doesn't have that kind of stuff.
yeah, if you want to just try pass wall. I mean, the worst that happens is we break it, and then we just got to leave. So
It doesn't. It won't.
because it goes back after a while,
Yeah, after an hour.
right? So, I mean, temporarily break it, permanently break it. I don't know.
Or
Um,
at it.
Those are pieces of the weave that are more your domain. I just, seduce
Unless there is some understanding of the spell that Mike has that I don't,
it. Right.
pass wall won't break anything.
Shouldn't, yeah. Unless there's one of those bubbles there that we pop. Fill it with water. Oh, that's a really interesting. Oh, because we figured out that it shouldn't be hollow on the other side. Because you would
Not
hear a
necessarily,
difference.
it just might be thick.
Right. Oh, that's fair. Okay. All right. I mean,
Sounds like pass wall.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we can't
Okay.
find any way that this looks like it opens. Like, I'm picturing like an Aperture Science door. Is that like it opens from the
Yeah.
center?
It kind of has that feel to it, that's the way the shelling spirals.
Yep.
So, but it's definitely not segmented. It's one piece.
And what we're in is organic, correct?
Well, it is,
More or less,
yeah,
sorry.
organic, like a seashell is organic.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's all I got is pass wall.
All right. So you cast pass wall, and you tunnel straight through this door, which appears to be about 6 feet thick.
Jeez.
And in the middle of it, you see another one of those shimmer walls. On the other side of it, you see 2 antechambers, probably very similar to the ones you've passed before already, with cold water, you're assuming, shooting out of them. It is hitting the hallway and almost instantly evaporating. And the entire place on the other side of this door has about 6 inches of water in it that is boiling and steaming. On the far side of it, you can see, just because the hallway continues to curve a little bit, So I'll give you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of what you can see.
Boiling.
Now, some of this is a little assumptive just because of the nature of what you found before. So you see another one of those magical barriers, and floating inside of that is a enormous harpoon. It takes up that entire area. Its head is huge, and its head is blazing red.
Guys, I think we found the reason there's cold water.
Yeah.
Found it.
That was a super good guess, Ryan. You may have inspiration for that good of a guess.
Yay!
For having a
The
giant.
next time you want to have advantage on a roll, you go ahead and you take
I
it.
haven't used my last one either, so now I've got 2 check marks
Wait,
up there.
Conch-
That's
conch
awesome.
nu- Nuclear
What did
reactor.
you say? What did you guess on?
He guessed that the cold water was here something
Oh,
down.
I
Like
wasn't
a nuclear
specifically. I thought it was one of 2 things. I thought, and I really led with the other one more, but like I had this thought that either the water was used in like a magical creation process for this
Yeah.
weapon, or the other one. But I really didn't think that as much. But yeah, that was the train of thought that I was on.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow, you're here.
Hey!
Decided to end.
Because it was so long
Oh.
already. The group called it.
I'll go that long.
Yeah.
Dude, that's some crazy dumb meeting.
Welcome home, dude.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
Uh,
problem.
Yes.
We were just about
I'm
to get
dead.
you killed.
We separated the group.
Why do you think it's that bad
We-
right off the bat?
Why?
Your stuff and you are naked.
Your
Not
stuff is
true.
naked.
We were
Why am I not
hoping this would
surprised?
be fixed by the time you got back.
Oh my god.
Kind of caught us with our
Red-handed?
math around our ankles.
We caught us with our Mav down.
Yeah.
You caught Mav in all of his glory.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
So what they have is they found a crayfish man who is a tinker, and his name is Herman, and he's helping you out now. So he's in the combat tracker.
He's pretty legit.
And then you followed the tunnel further down and found out why there's cold water flooding into this place, because the weapon you're here to secure is flash boiling all the water near it.
Thousands
It
of
got
gallons
through
per
a super
second.
thick barrier. There's now a magical barrier on the other side of that one that is protecting you from it.
Well, I'm happy just to listen and let you guys figure that out.
Nuh-uh. Mav. We're gonna need you to suck up all that heat magic. Good luck. Suck up the
No.
God Killer magic.
I think that's
Mav definitely doesn't do any sucking up while he's naked.
Why is he naked? Is he actually naked?
No.
You guys told him he was.
Oh. Alright. I mean, isn't that the best time to do that? Anyway. So we are currently, I assume, like here.
Right on the other side of those pods. Yep, right there.
And we can see down there. We just broke the door. Quote unquote. Looking at the other side of the door, does it look like there's any operational controls on that side of the door?
It does not.
It's got to be a ritual of some kind. Hate magic. Trixie. Hi, yeah, that's totally what Jeffrey would be like in this moment. He would be speaking to the weave and just like, you keep your secrets. How the heck are we gonna get that thing out of there?
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how we're gonna approach it.
Okay, here's my question. You guys know magic. You're really good at manipulating magic. Do you think there would be any way to create one of those portals, or maybe put one of those portals into a bag of holding, so that we could have an ever-flowing portal of water to...
I mean, yeah, that's a real thing. That thing already exists.
What is it?
It's a flask of.
Oh no, we need something that pours out that much water like nonstop.
I know. I'm saying is that already is a thing. We just need to adapt it to our purposes.
We're gonna need to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, because we need to get this thing all the way back to somewhere a really long ways away, and it's way bigger than we are, and it's real hot.
Yeah. How big did you say it was, Mike?
It's at least 25 feet long.
Jeez.
And flat.
It diagonally takes up that whole room, and the head of itself that is almost on fire is a good 6 feet of that.
And it's in water, or is it in air?
No, it's in air because it's flash boiling all the water around it.
That's touching it, and it's got water being doused onto it basically consistently.
Yeah, there's water. You're pretty sure there's more water flowing into this room, but you just can't see the other vents.
Yep. Okay. How do we get that thing where we need to go? Do we run in there with our amazing hit points and just teleport ourselves where we're supposed to go while holding on to it and hopefully
kind
not
of
die
get the
once we get there?
I kind of get the feeling that Othig and I could probably survive
A round or two.
a round or two.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
You and Mav would be incinerated.
And we'll be gumbo, jambalaya alongside the crawdad.
Yeah.
I will point out that I believe Mav has a couple potions of invulnerability.
What does that do?
It just
Full on
Has your
resistance.
damage.
All the damage.
Well, that's a
For a
good
minute.
start. How about? So here's a really dumb question. Do we have any fiends that we're still friends with? Because they're immune to fire.
Can we call her a lawyer?
I already called him last week.
He's not technically a fiend either.
No, he's Nicolas Cage.
He's a tiefling.
He's a Nicolas Cage.
He's not Nicholas.
He is. You saw him.
You saw him.
Way better than Nick Cage.
You saw him abduct the president. Sorry, that was a real question though. Do we have any fiends that owe us a favor or any fiends that we're friends with? I thought we had one on retainer somewhere.
I would prefer that no fiends get even close enough to know that this is a thing.
Sure. Preferences aside. Somebody immune to fire would be able to just pick that thing up and wiggle it around. Can I make you immune to fire? Can you be immune to fire?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can I be immune to fire? I don't think
Not that I'm aware of.
so. Oh, wait, it's an object. Can I just animate it? Can Adam and I spend some time magically figuring out if we can combine our powers to animate that spear?
I think animate objects has to be non-magical objects.
I don't know. Objects come to life at your command. Dang it! It does say non-magical.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
I mean, I definitely would allow you to cook up a spell that
Can we create a
you
golem
don't
that
have
can
a
wield
wizard
that?
in the party, so your magic that you know is the magic that you know. You're not as
Yeah,
is not as easy for you to manipulate your stuff.
yeah. Can we create a giant coral golem that can withstand the heat and just carry that thing around for us for a single minute? I forgot how short animate objects is. I forgot that was just a 1 minute spell.
Can I?
Let's see. Oh, you have telekinesis.
It's probably too heavy.
Maybe. Is that? I mean, it doesn't. Maybe it's not 1,000 pounds.
You
right?
can throw yourself. That thing's not 1,000 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. 20-foot
It's
long
heavy.
spear. What do you think? 20 foot. Couple hundred pounds.
So
tops.
I mean, yeah, I can move it,
Yeah.
and then what?
We take it out into the ocean and boil it.
And then what?
I don't have a plan past that.
Yeah, that's I think where everything is falling apart.
No, it fell
We can
apart
move this?
a long time ago.
We can move this a myriad of ways.
Yeah.
So what are we doing once we move it?
You're gonna go kill a god with it.
Okay, I can't. As difficult as it is for me to say this, I can't use that. That thing, Othig can't use that thing. It is too unwieldy for a dwarf. That is what happens when you give a lobster a longsword. They can wield knives, fine. But if you give them a longsword, it doesn't work.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah.
As a real
There
question, as a real dumb question, what would happen if I cast heat metal on that thing?
No, honestly, that's what I was
It's
thinking.
just gonna get
except-
hotter.
Except I was asking, I was thinking about, as Mike was saying, none of you are wizards, so you can't really. I was thinking about heat metal in reverse.
Manipulating
using- Yeah, to cast it backwards, basically. I don't even have that spell, so I can't do anything with it. But
I do.
But
It's only 10 minutes.
would yeah.
I can bring you back if it kills you. Does that help?
I mean, at some point, yes, that will help.
What about this? What if we put it in my mansion and then it'll just be floating around in the astral sea? Because consistently, statistically, when I cast that, we find a way to blow it up and then it's just in the astral sea and there's nothing in the astral sea for it to cook. There's just the cold, dead void of space. And if we get that thing moving fast enough through the void of space, not only is it going to be hot, it's going to hit whatever it's going to hit at terminal velocity, space-wise.
Why would you want it to hit something?
A god. Yeah. We want to throw it at a god from space.
Who is not in the astral sea.
Yet. We're going to put him in my mansion next. My mansion is the portal to the astral sea.
I know why I play this game, but it's really hard to keep focus at this particular juncture.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I am sorry. I don't mean to ruin everything.
Anybody have any
actual ideas?
I have.
I don't even know.
Ideas.
I have an idea that I would just like to state, and I'm not sure if it's already been covered because I've been trying to purposely avoid listening to the ridiculousness that has ensued for at least the past 10 minutes. So forgive me if this has been mentioned before, but would it be so terrible
2 years
if we figured out how to call Bill Dillaplop first, and then come back here?
Yes, because the lobster doesn't like her.
Well, how about in our process of like figuring out how to do that, we drop him off?
Wait, why Bubbles? Why are we calling her?
Okay, I don't care who it is. I'm just saying like that's the person that we initially like consensus like this person would be perfect for it.
Yeah, her using it.
I don't think she's immune to fire.
Well, yeah, but it also.
But she's the only person that we know of who could wield it, I think.
In theory.
Is really the thing.
Yeah. Because she's technically a god.
Yeah, no, I don't have an issue with that. Every idea that I have comes to a crawling, screeching halt like 20 minutes later. Because you know what I mean? It's like there's extremely limited things that we can do.
Yeah, it needs to be handled. It needs to be handled like, and we can't try to do like this temporary handling process because that's just gonna result in catastrophe. Yeah,
it's just gonna make wherever we end up bringing it to, it's gonna cause a calamity where it's at. Like at the moment, it is contained.
it's causing instant evaporation from water from the plane of water. Like
All
we're
of the
not gonna
water,
be able
yeah.
to do, yeah, we're not going to be able to do anything with it here on the Prime.
Where's that water vapor going? Sorry.
I mean,
Constantly
we
spending
might, but at the moment, we just don't know enough about what is going on with this thing.
No, we could do some investigating and try and find out, but
We'd sort of have to. I don't know how much closer we can get to it though.
yeah.
Without.
Did we discuss dropping it off in the plane of fire?
Why
Yeah,
there?
but then how do we get it?
Well, do we need it?
Yeah, we need to kill
We
a god
need
with
it.
it.
We need this to kill Dagon,
In theory.
Oh.
In theory.
to help Halcyon with a slight issue.
Right. A slight issue, he says.
Slight issue.
But there's also, if I remember correctly, there's a clock on this issue,
Yeah.
isn't there?
Yeah, there's a
Well, the
clock
longer
on
you
this
wait, the
issue.
longer the city stays under siege.
Right.
We got here really fast, which was good. So we cut a lot of time in that capacity. So I mean, I'm thinking that's going to help our process here, which is great. But so the other thing that I was thinking of was I don't exactly remember how Thanik you got into this room and what we're able to see or do at this point, but are we able to, like, is this thing is obviously like upright somehow, so is it in a pedestal? Are there any markings or like anything around it that we can discern or identify or read that give insight on, you know, what to do? Like, is there anything like that we can check out in this room, like that, or see?
There are a number of markings and things in this room that you can see. It appears that it tells the story of the creation of this item. So make perception checks, and I can.
Gosh, I'd love
tell
to figure
you
that out.
Right. I bet you would.
Sure.
You guys went right into problem solving mode and skipped all of the things that could give you information into problem solving.
The way you said we can barely see into the room, I assumed that meant all we could see was floating spear, and the ability to see any other things didn't cross my mind based on the explanation.
Like in that room, this hallway right in front of you, you could see stuff in that hallway. You can't see into the wings of the room, but you can see stuff into the hallway.
I quit.
Gotcha.
Tony, you are being such a Nicolas Cage.
I don't like you anymore.
Mav, you could probably re-roll that. I'm guessing Jeff's gonna tell you.
Yeah, go ahead and re-roll it. And do it with advantage because Jeffrey's distracted right now.
There's an insult that I've never heard of before.
It was not an insult.
I'm
It was
so
not an insult.
So upset with you.
You know who Nicolas Cage is. That's not an insult.
That's why I think it's an
See, here's the deal. Never mind. It's not worth it right now.
So, Othig, you really harness into the blacksmithing side of things. And you realize that the left side of this hallway speaks to the creation of this item, and the right side of this hallway speaks to its entombment, so to speak, into this. Because you can relay that it's an entombment because it is being carried in some of the imagery, and it's being carried to this place. People are dying in it. And the last thing you see is the door being closed, and it looks like a tall woman is born.
Sorry, I missed the last part. What did you say? A tall woman
is blowing a horn, some sort of giant horn. But in its creation, you see people gathering materials, and you see smiths coming and bringing down a hunk of metal that fell from the sky.
Phil had one of those.
And they harnessed its power, turned it into this thing, and that's all you see. You do see them create it in a different place.
Yeah, so they created this thing, realized it was not good what they created.
Yep.
They entombed it, and
there is more to the
denounced it
story
dead.
that you can't see because you can't see all the walls, but you can see some of them.
Yeah, we got in here because you used your
Pass wall.
pass wall which just gives us like
A doorway through that shell.
It's a tunnel, yeah. It
Yeah.
creates a tunnel, basically.
You said there was the blowing of a horn.
Yep. That is clearly on your side of the shell door.
Yeah. Does the horn look special?
No. It's probably, knowing how reliefs in this type of storytelling works, it is probably very special. But you can't tell anything about what's special about it from the iconography.
I have a long horn. Can I just try and blow it?
Sure. Doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
So
We will work on.
that worked. That worked.
Passwall works where it's just like a closed tunnel directly to like within the distance that's
Yep.
specified to.
Correct. And in the middle of this tunnel where this shell is blocking the door, you found the magical barrier.
Okay. So
And that's really what's obviously keeping you safe.
Yeah.
right, because but we're behind it right now.
Yeah, you're on the safe side of the magical barrier. You could pass through it. You could walk through it if it's just like the one that you found Henry on the other side of.
As
Yeah.
soon as we step on the other side, we're probably going to be
Hurt.
yeah, it's going to be
It's pretty clear you'll be hurting with the way the water is writhing in there.
Yeah. If we pop that bubble and all of this cold water goes in there, in addition to the cold water that's already in there, do we feel like it would instantly flash fry us, or do we feel like it might not?
You don't know.
Okay.
So but we don't I mean since this is it's sealed with like however
A
thick
ritual.
it's like a 20-foot thick wall
It was
or
6.
something.
It was 6 foot.
Okay, so but that water isn't able to get in from here, I'm guessing. So there must be other vents in here that
Mhm.
it's evaporating water from the plane of water from.
Likely. It's a good guess. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere, and it's got to get that water. And since it can't come in through the hallway, there's likely other vents in here. But it's, yeah, I don't know. Really want to see what's in the rest of this room. But is it safe to do so, and how do we do
No,
that?
not unless you can find
it's
somewhere
definitely
to.
not safe. The question is it dangerous
Possible.
enough to,
Be worth it.
yeah. I will.
So, I was asking the question in a not meta way
What's our companion's name?
of if we know any
Henry.
fiends or not.
Herman.
Any one from.
I mean, we do, but I don't think there's any that we have access to calling on.
Well, I have, I have Infernal Calling. I've had it forever and was told to never use it because you guys didn't like it. But calling on somebody who has immunity to fire might
When
not
I
be.
said to call on, I didn't mean that we didn't have the ability to. I
Right.
meant that we would call on as an ally.
Right.
So, like, yeah, there's plenty of people that we could call and talk to.
Mm-hmm.
None of them I trust
Right.
to actually help us.
Well, if I utilize the spell, at least for an hour, they have to help us.
Okay, but then what?
Then they can either leave or try and kill us.
Yeah, and if they leave with the spear, or the
Oh,
javelin-
that they don't get to take anything with them if they leave.
Has Herman
Yeah, okay,
seen
but then
anything?
what do we do? What do we do with the harpoon?
Hopefully,
You know
this
what I mean?
won't take more than an hour.
Herman
No.
is in shock and awe of what you're looking at.
Has
Yeah.
Herman seen anything else that resembles anything, any sort of iconography or reference to this in his, half-fish hour travels outside of his protective, ability to travel?
So he says there's one building that always struck him as really interesting. It was it's right at the edge of his range before he'd start to drown. So it struck him as kind of he says he's got this cousin that is a forge cleric, and he says it just struck him as like one of his types of temples.
Let's go check it out.
I love the idea.
But there's a crustacean forge cleric.
No, I love the idea that they're like little crawdads, little crawfish, and this guy Herman happened to find something that turned him bigger, basically, and made him his own kind of unique little.
I mean,
creature.
I don't know. I don't know that we really got the definitive answer to that.
We didn't, but I like that. But in my head canon, that's what's happening. And
That he's
his
an
cousin-
awakened crawdad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and his
and
cousin
he just doesn't realize it.
Yeah, and his cousin is just a regular, normal crawfish who is also a forge cleric.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I hope we figure it out someday. I think we should go visit this place, though. I think we should try to figure out. We should try to get more information. If we're not going to get more information from inside this room because it's just too impossible for us to do so at this moment. We should explore this area outside a little bit more to try to get more information and come back with a different plan.
Yeah, because again, ultimately, every option and solution that I have come up with,
Yeah, well, either way.
after about either 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour,
Yeah,
we all then just die.
I don't think we have the capacity to do anything about moving this thing ourselves. And we have to get more information somehow.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
this is the place where it was brought. There's got to be something else here. Let's try to figure it out.
So
There could be something else here.
So here's what I'm thinking, by the way. We go back to his office.
He can. You want to leave him behind? Because he's got.
No,
breathing,
he comes
so-
with. No, he comes with.
Oh,
We go back to all of us. We just go back to his office. I will cast catnap. Then we'll get a 15-minute short rest. I will get my spells back, and then we can use hit dice.
Who's
Okay.
hurt?
All right.
I mean, I'm just
Oh,
shy
jeez.
of.
Look at you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I can use it.
And I could. I'll.
Do you want some healing?
No. I honestly, it's the spells. I need my spell slot.
He wants a nap.
So,
Yeah, and I
but getting
use
your
a
spell
few hit
slots
dice.
back allows you guys to use hit dice, so you get your short rest in.
Yeah. I mean, I would use a few. So yeah. Fine with that.
All right. So you guys head back to Herman's workshop, set up a little quick camp, and go ahead and you spend your hit dice.
I'm gonna cast Baking of Hope, and I'm gonna use the healer's kit as well.
Jeffrey's good. So
So I will not spend hit dice yet.
Do I have a healer's kit? Am I out of healer's kits?
Oh.
we did use a few.
Gosh.
There we
I
go.
have one left. Okay.
Should you save it?
Yeah, save
No, that's fine.
it. No, save it, because
I think you should save it.
We got.
Well, I have one that I'm currently using when I have 8 charges left, and I have one more that I have in reserve.
Oh, I think we all thought you had one use left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I have 18 uses left.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
So I was going to
I mean, just don't go
give you
crazy.
23.
Because, I mean, we almost never use hit dice.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I've got 16 hit dice that I could just roll.
Yeah. I mean, especially with full.
Okay. Well, then just do it with full
Bacon of hope.
Bacon of hope. Yeah.
Bacon of Hope.
Great.
And Halcyon can get that as well.
Yes, you can. So he'll use his 2. They're at max. Oh, so you don't even need to roll.
Oh yeah, sorry.
With bacon of hope.
I just always forget. +4. So yeah, so it's just gonna be 2 more, and then I'll be at 1. So that's fine. So can you change hit
Alright,
dice
so then-
number? Can I change hit dice then?
Yeah, on your first page, hit the little magnifying glass.
So you guys, with
Next
Herman,
to
you
your
swim back up
quest.
to the top of the conch shell, and he points across the north part of the city a little bit, and he's like, "There, that building right there." He's like, "I think that's if they made this anywhere, that's the only place I found that might be." And so you guys, as you get ready to swim, like you're just about to swim out, and he claws you on the leg and drags one of you back a little bit. He's like, hold on, and you see a massive shark like swimming just above the top of the conch shell that you're in.
Oh.
So he says, we can wait it out, or we can try and sneak. But he does say he might be there a while. When he shows up, he patrols for quite a bit.
How big is the shark?
It is a good 80 feet long.
Whoa!
That's a big
Fighting's not
fishing.
that easy, but
What would we say that shark's challenge rating is?
I don't think that's something you get to just know.
I know, but if I attempt to polymorph one of us into it, we'll know if it's above 15.
Oh my god.
Because I can polymorph us into a CR of a creature up to our level.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to try and sneak? Do you want to fight it? Do you want to wait it out?
We don't have anything to make us sneakier, do we?
Pass without a trace. No, I don't have it anymore. Never mind. I do not have. I have invisibility, and that's about it. And I'm guessing that creature does not rely on its sight as much as it does its smell.
That's what Hal was going to say, too. He says he could blind it, but he can't stop its sniffer, and that's definitely what a shark hunts with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could find some way to chum the waters with something that would swim off and be hunted fast. But aside from that, I don't have a whole lot of ideas.
Does minor illusion give smells?
I don't know. That's a wonderful question.
I think it does.
Sound and sight, I don't think it smells.
Sound or image, yeah. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect.
Major image can create smells. That's one you're
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah. Do you have that?
I have minor illusion, but it only goes so far.
No, do you have major illusion? You don't?
No, I don't think so. I have image, but not illusion.
Major image?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one does create smell.
Yeah.
Put it out to 120 feet. I believe you can move it on your turn as long as you're distance of the spell range.
Oh, I have programmed illusion. That's one I have. I don't have major image.
Okay.
Sorry. I do have polymorph.
You want to try to polymorph it?
I mean,
Yes. Let's do that.
turn it into a normal shark.
Or like a little minnow.
Yeah.
Baby shark.
Baby shark. Do, 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 do.
What do you guys want to do? You're facing down my shark puzzle.
Do you want to try to polymorph it into a?
You know, if it's big enough on a meta level, it could just choose to succeed.
That's
Nah,
true.
it's not big enough. No.
Okay,
I don't know.
Here's what we do.
Legendary creatures don't need to be powerful.
80-foot shark.
Nav, you're thinking too much for the granite backs. Come on, we
Yeah.
don't do that.
Here's what we do. We all get close to it and then shove it.
Shove it. You shove it.
This
No,
This is
I
not
let one of
Baldur's
my
Gate
creatures
3.
this last week get shoved off of a ledge. I'm not letting any others. Somebody, and I'm not naming names, Tony,
I didn't polymorph it,
shoved my stunned rock off of a cliff.
and
Playing too much Baldur's Gate.
it died.
It is a valid puzzle solution.
It really was. I was glad they did it, but
But he was sad.
you're
that
not
he's-
shoving a shark anywhere. So
Take that. Right down
I'll
the
show you where
throat.
you can shove this
bad.
shark.
So we're back to wait it out or try and sneak past it. Or polymorph it.
Let's try to go past it if wait a minute, hold on. Hold on.
I'm waiting.
What do we have? What do we have in here?
Bro, I don't know. I
Bruh.
only know what I have in here. Bruh.
Does Henry have any ideas on how to sneak past it?
Herman.
He would suggest dropping Herman. Yeah, I called him Henry before though, so that's totally legit. He would
Well,
suggest heading straight down to the floor, and just swimming as fast as you can and dropping right after it swims past the shell, because it'll loop back around, but you might be able to make it to the floor of the city before it comes back.
Okay.
Um,
Whoever is the slowest, here's what we do. We will
I'm
attempt to
drinking a
sneak.
potion of speed.
Whoever is the slowest.
Oh, wait, no. What if Jeffrey makes the slowest of us,
I get-
aka Mav, into a fishy that can swim fast?
Okay, but that doesn't solve my solution.
You're
Whoever
going to
is the
solve your solution?
yeah, whoever is the slowest will take all 10 of the sleeper fungus and just drop it behind them so that the shark will eat all of them at once and fall asleep.
Cover
In
yourself
OD.
in it so when you get eaten by the shark, it'll at least go to sleep.
And then I'll just dimension door out 50 feet.
Wait, hold on. This is getting even better. Because it doesn't need to be one of us. We could just find a fish and cover it in sleeper fungus and cut it and send it out there.
Good night, Sharky.
And the shark will go to sleep. Or, I'm still sticking with, I could try and turn one of you into that thing.
And just fight it.
I mean, it's a real big fish that makes it a beast, and now I've seen that thing, I can try and turn somebody into it.
Is it a beast or is it a monstrosity?
We don't know.
I mean, for the most part, I'm fine with any of these.
Really
ideas.
only
Maybe
one
someone
way to
just rolls
find out.
Rolls a dice to see which one we pick.
I think we should attempt to sneak past it. But if we fail at
When?
that,
Laughing.
if we snuck up on the crawdad,
You did sneak up on the crawdad.
yeah. If we
This thing isn't tinkering.
well,
the
I
crawdad
mean,
was
you
very
don't, you don't know that.
I do know that it's hunting for food.
Oh, all right.
It's very obvious.
Now,
Okay.
we could try and
Come on.
get that thing to pick a fight
Otik
with
is
the
one with the lowest
octopus.
intelligence here.
No, legitimately, I think what we should do is plan on fighting it, but we should attempt to sneak past it. And
Agreed.
If we will preset something, so like bundling up the sleeper mushrooms, so that we can all just toss that into its gaping maw.
I like it.
All right. So
And
make
if you
your
wanna-
stealth checks,
and then
and
at
I'll
that
make my
point-
perception check.
Yeah, and at that point, if you want to try to polymorph one of us into a giant shark, then yeah, sure. Sorry, so we're doing sneak.
We are doing a sneak.
Oh, so close.
Oh, so bad. So bad. Alright, here we go.
Let me roll for.
Hey, not bad.
I was
Hey,
gonna
look at
say,
that.
it's not gonna find me.
Nope. So you guys get about halfway down and you see it heading straight towards you. It's particularly heading straight towards Mav and Herman.
Alright, I'm going to
Herman got a
polymorph.
4 on
Oh,
his
Herman?
stealth check.
Oh,
Um,
Herman.
Wait, how far away are we going? Like, how far away is our destination?
Oh, it's about a half hour's travel. A little
How-
less,
Oh.
20 minutes.
Definitely can't do that then.
How fast does Mervin?
Mervin the Herman?
Herman can
Merman
actually
the
book
Herman
it really
Fervin.
quick underwater.
Yeah, he's
He
fine.
can move pretty darn quick.
Alright, Mav.
So should we?
Matt can't.
So here, how about this? Why don't we give the sleeper mushrooms to Herman
And put
then
him to
he
sleep?
Can... No, what? No, not give it to him. Like he can carry them.
Oh. I was like, what's this gonna solve?
And then we'll put a giant hook in Herman.
In him?
We're trolling for sharks, y'all.
No, we'll give him like the bundle of sleeper mushrooms. He can
Yeet
drop
them
it off.
into the fish.
Like
and
into
try and get
the
out of the
crab.
way.
Yeah. Does he feel comfortable? I don't wanna just make him do that.
Be bait? No.
He
The other option. Go ahead.
he is not comfortable with that idea.
Okay. So then the other option is we do that with Othig, because Othig can teleport to you with your ring.
Once.
Oh, if
He
you
also
want
can
to use
Mav.
that.
Mav can
Otherwise,
cast
I can
the
do that. I can
dimension
do
door.
dimension door.
I can also do that.
Yeah, but if Othig gets eaten, I am still betting on his survival. Whereas
I
if
got
you get eaten-
survivability.
What are you saying?
I got potions. I got death wards.
Dude, this thing's
I got
huge.
survivability.
None of us are really food to it. We're a snack.
It's looking at
I
me
mean,
like
you
I'm
clear-
food.
We're a snack at best.
Sharks
Here,
do
take-
3 things: they swim, they eat, they make little sharks.
They
will
never
eat
sleep.
anything. Didn't you ever watch Jaws? Quint saw one to eat a rocking chair once.
Haven't you ever seen
Yeah.
a Shark Week?
Shark Week.
Yeah.
I'm
eat
about to.
cars.
I'm about to try and see a bigger shark. If Mav doesn't let me cast it on him, I'm probably just gonna cast
Cast
it on
on Mav.
myself.
Mav is okay with it.
I'm gonna try and turn Mav into that big shark. And one of two things is gonna happen. It's either gonna like him or love him.
I would like to note that I am carrying the
Sleeper
easier
fungus.
stuff on me. So when it eats me and makes me no longer a shark,
Sure.
I can release it. I'm also casting Death Ward on myself.
What's the worst that happens?
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind. It's already on me.
Yeah, you already have it.
Okay. So are you polymorphing Mav or anybody else, or are you polymorphing the shark?
Mav. Polymorphing Mav into a big shark. Big
All right.
shark. And if that
Is
doesn't
a
work...
CR 14 creature.
Hey.
So Mav can match its hit points at 250.
All right,
and
Mav.
It is now a big shark. It immediately turns and starts to head the other way, and then it turns back like it's looking like you freaked it out for sure. Now it doesn't know what it's doing.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give
He's
you.
like, hey, I was just hanging out here.
Shark Mav. You
fine.
get bardic inspiration. Go subdue that shark.
As
Like when
Shark
you're-
Mav is
Mav,
going to attack.
you have never been this hungry in your whole life.
Right, but you can also smell the water. Is it a boy shark or a girl shark?
This is 2 bull sharks, so there is no.
Oh, so it's 2 males.
Yeah, there's some.
Ooh, that's no good.
Could I have turned Mav into a female shark?
Let's please
No.
roll initiative.
Yay, initiative! I want to turn Mav into a female shark.
Adam, it's like if you fell down and you got up real quick and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yep.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. You didn't see anything. Everything's okay.
Nothing happened."
Oops. Oh, that was your temporary hit points.
I love thinking that we can also hear Shark Mav's thoughts of just food.
Yeah.
I've never been this hungry in my whole life, and I really want to be a woman.
I really want to. Man, that bull shark is no bull.
And then I want to swim, and then I want to eat some more.
And swim some more, and then eat some more, and then swim some more.
All right,
Guys, I'm so excited. Mav's a giant shark.
Oh, Herman got a 2.
He's
Oh,
80 foot.
Herman.
So I go in the middle of the pack.
All right, Jeff, you're up first.
Oh, frick.
The-
So I've got Polymorph running on Mav. He's got a Bardic Inspiration.
Nice.
I don't know what else I can do. I didn't think this far ahead. Oh, that's a good idea.
Shocker.
Do I have any lightning spells? Because lightning obviously works better into water. Oh, I have a whip. How
No
far away
rules
am I?
wise-
Huh?
You know rules wise it doesn't.
I know.
Everybody always says that. There's
Because
no
it's fun.
rule that ever says that.
It's true, but you know what's really funny in Baldur's Gate? It completely does, which is stupid.
It's not Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I distinctly remember reading a Dragonlance novel where he cast lightning bolt underwater and it turned into a firebolt.
That's terrifying.
Maybe.
I don't like that. How far away from this creature am I?
You're 60 feet right now.
60 feet. That's way too far for me to swim to. Oh.
Way too close to want to swim to it.
No, I want to swim to it. I do. Wait, I don't know where it is in the initiative tracker. Do we not know?
Oh, sorry, I didn't turn him out.
Yeah, neither is Henry. Or, sorry, Herman. Herman's also not in there. Oh, so Othig is going to get there too. Okay, that's good. I do not have a swim speed, so I cannot move very far. I'm going to start swimming towards it, I guess, and hopefully get...
Do we have a map for this, or is this the end of the mind?
No, it's just theater of the mind.
As we attempt to kill this giant shark. So I'll swim as close to it as I can, which is only like 20 feet closer. And 60 feet away. And then I'm just going to use my brain pain on it, because all the rest of my stuff is concentration. I keep forgetting that. So it needs to make a... Oh, what does it need to make? Can't find my cantrips.
Shouldn't I have more HP than Planet?
No.
I have
You
top.
shouldn't.
Yeah, I should.
So do I.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I do
And I
have
have
something
more-
I can
I
click
have more
on. That's
common
right.
too.
You have a giant Megalodon.
Do you?
My,
I do.
I'm not targeting anybody else this
As
time,
of-
am I?
As of like last
No.
week.
Okay.
What's your con? Oh, dang, dude.
I think it failed. It failed. Get it, Sharky. Got him. He's wounded, guys. And that'll end my turn.
You had more health than me up until we leveled.
Cool. That's cool.
Where's the button? Pam. Oh,
Already hit it.
it's on his turn, so it's Helkuin's turn, I guess.
He is going to... He knows that his tentacle-y spells are kind of ineffective down here because the blindness part doesn't work as well, so he's just going to Eldritch Blast 3 times.
Eldritch Blast.
He knows all hit.
Yeah.
Oops, that's 4 dice. I'll have to take one away. Oh, that was a good one. They're all good, but the one was really good.
Hello, Megalodon.
Okay. Giant Megalodon shark.
Sorry. That's funny.
Okay. Oh, thing.
Okay, so if I always stay to the back, how far away am I from him?
You'd be about 70 feet. Oh no, you'd be about 50 because you stayed to the back. So you're a little closer.
Okay, so then I can make a dash and do my charge attack.
Dude, you spear the shark.
I'm totally gonna spear the shark, so +5.
Absolutely.
Torpedo that shark.
I'm gonna use Charger and Great Weapon Master to offset the penalty and do 10 extra damage on this hit.
Dude. Get it, son.
And I'll take my 3 attacks. 3 attacks.
You got this.
Oh, does that hit?
That does hit.
Oh, sweet. So I can't miss unless I actually miss.
It,
Well,
it
that's-
has a terrible AC. It's just a big sack of meat, you know? It's
Hey, I get it. Alright, so we'll do +10 on this one. On the first one. And then a 2 and a 3. And those are my attacks. And then
Okay.
I will use the rest of my movement to... Let's see, you said 50. So I'll just go out 20 feet from like a flanking direction.
Okay. Don't forget your movement is halved while you're swimming.
Oh, so
You just I figured you were getting just to the edge of it, and then that
Oh.
was going to be all your movement.
that is going to be all my movement then.
That's what I thought was happening. So
So I'm where I'm at. Okay.
yeah. So it is its turn, and you are the closest thing to it now. And
Oops.
let's see.
I can take it.
Othig, you do not have all your hit points, so it can smell your wounds, and it goes into a blood frenzy.
Oh.
It is going to attempt to bite the Othig. And he will.
Just.
Sus.
Othig, I need you to make a strength saving throw to not be grappled by this thing.
Okay. Strength saving throw. That is also, I haven't been doing this for a really long time. I get half my proficiency on strength, dex, and con.
Oh, nice.
So that's, I'm guessing half of 5 is considered 2.
Yes, it is.
So
So it's
32.
32. So yeah, like you take damage in your feet and your hands because as this thing tries to chomp you down, you just like kind of pry its mouth open like a jack, and it's trying to chew you, but it still does 78 points of damage to you.
Whoa, okay.
10d10 plus 16.
Yeah.
Andy, just so you know, that's how much damage you'll do when you bite it.
Oh, cow.
And because you are not grappled, you are not swallowed.
That's good.
Andy Granite Sharkback.
Did you change his name? Did you change your name?
He
to
did.
that? That's great.
I think the way I cast Polymorph on him was just yelling, "Welcome to Shark Week, baby!"
You also have a plus 11 to hit. So that's going to hit. That'll hit without the plus. So
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Yeah, you don't even need it.
Andy's frozen on my screen.
I think he's frozen on mine too.
Oh,
No, just concentrating.
I thought he was just concentrating.
Yep,
Maybe
there he goes. We lost him.
Oh,
no.
oh, I think he's back.
Yeah, he's
So-
back.
Okay.
Hi.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
We can hear you.
Can hear.
Excellent. Okay, so is it just one attack?
It is just one attack.
And how much
10d10
damage?
plus 16.
10d10 plus
10d10.
16.
Yep, plus 16.
It's a whole lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage, Phil.
Jeez, that's a
That
lot.
had a lot of 8s.
Yeah.
Right, you got one more point than I did. Nice. So that will be applied directly to Megalodon's shark. It looks very badly hurt between the spear attacks and the little bit of brain pain it got. It's not doing so hot.
Can I attempt to grapple it?
You can. I didn't know if you'd want to. You can attempt to lock your bite down. Now you won't.
Yes.
A creature this size, you will not get another attack. But
That's
you
fine.
you could trade your attack for restraining it.
Yeah, let's do that.
You should
Okay.
try and swallow it.
Just swallow the midsection.
Good luck.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Oh,
Oh.
I was like, oh, good, I'm gonna get out of this. Nope. Okay, so next round, if you get to another round, you can restrain it when your turn comes.
Okay.
Right now, it's just grappled, so its movement speed is 0.
Oh, that's fair.
Then
Okay.
You're right.
so I don't know if it's gonna make it another round.
So.
If I remember correctly, melee's at disadvantage, but like spell attacks wouldn't be.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, I
So
didn't
I-
roll a disadvantage.
Oh, I
Oh.
forgot. It's fine.
Oh.
It's got a 1 AC. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean a 12 AC. It's like gonna have a heck of a time.
I was like,
missing
it's got a 1 AC.
it. No, it does suck.
You know,
No, but he meant for my rolls. Like I would have had to roll an actual.
Yeah, that's what I was. Dude, Vanna. Blasting.
Nice.
Oh,
That's right.
still
20 damage.
pretty solid.
And I will try to stay at a good range.
Okay. So,
It's funny.
Herman's turn.
We're switching roles, Thanak.
Herman does hit. Herman almost missed that thing, and so it gets plunked with his crossbow for 5 points of damage. He's very proud of himself.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh, it's me?
Yep.
I'm gonna swim right up next to that big old jerk. Take a bite out of him. I'm gonna try and use my whip underwater because I'm a genius.
This poor thing has no idea what just happened to it. It was going to get a snack, and then all of a sudden there's another giant shark, and then all of a sudden it's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got skewered by an adamantite blade. Got locked down by another shark.
Hey, Mike, I missed it.
Oh man.
No, you didn't. It does. It has a 13 AC.
in Shark you hear laughter.
I mean, you do got a war gong you could use.
Yeah, you do.
Nope. This is true to Jeffrey's form. He attempted to do something out of his character, and it went awfully, and he's just going to accept that.
That's really funny. I was like, it couldn't have missed, and then I opened it up and it's 13. Definitely a miss. So Hal, his 3 Eldritch Blasts. Are you doing any bonus actions or anything?
Nope. Jeffrey is just going to back up and be like, yeah, I expected that.
Yep. So Hal misses with one of his blasts as the shark is just thrashing around trying to get out of the grip of the other shark. And he will end up doing 19 points of damage.
At your first meal as a shark, Andy, is going to be like the best meal you're ever going to have as a shark.
Othig.
Alright.
Oh, shark meat may not be that great.
I don't know, man. Shark fins.
Yeah, but it is for another shark.
But that's like cannibalistic.
Uh-huh.
It's a shark.
Most animals are cannibals.
Even Henry.
Even Henry.
Even the
Also-
granite
is it a shark?
backs.
I will.
Yep.
I will use my.
Thank you, Andy.
Oh, I totally messed up.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have gotten 3 attacks that first round.
Because you did Charger.
I only got 1 attack.
Alright, well...
How about I
Just
just
take-
roll once?
Yep. How about you just hit once here?
Okay.
We'll call it a day. Oh, the shark might get another attack.
He might.
Yay.
Because I can't critical, which reduces my chance to throw another attack in there anyway. Oh yeah!
Exceeds hit points by 2.
2! Hey, good thing for that crit range or that reroll on 1 to 2.
Hey,
range.
not that it would matter, but their attacks wouldn't have been a disadvantage, would they?
Ryan's would have been.
Because he's
Yeah.
grappled.
Oh!
He's
Grappled.
not restrained yet. He's just grappled.
Oh.
Grappled is
Oh,
movement speed
okay.
0.
Restraint is the next one.
Restrain would have happened the next round. So, yep. Okay. So you
Although-
kill the shark. Mav Shark can now eat it if he wants.
Mav Shark's definitely gonna eat it. He's hungry.
Herman is like, dang.
Does Herman want some of this?
No, but he's like, I'm sorry I shot you. 'Cause
Oh.
he shot
You were gonna be. You were gonna be.
really hard.
I will do my best to tell to help what's his name, Shark Mav,
The
To
situation of.
to not eat the jaws so we can mount those as a trophy.
Mm. Sure. How are we gonna get the head back?
I don't know, not the head,
Um,
just
well-
the jaws. No,
well,
you don't mount a shark head.
Matt will carry the head in his mouth
What are you talking about?
to
Why
the
don't you mount a
destination.
shark head?
Because you don't. You just mount the jaws.
Why? Why?
Because they don't call them sharks. They call them jaws.
That is not a defense.
It is. It worked.
No, it's not.
I won.
The way we mount this is we mount this, the set of jaws, eating the Yonogu head.
I won. Okay. I don't care. I don't even care.
All right. So you guys,
We need a bag of like teleportation for large objects to just
We do.
show up at our keep.
We need.
We really do.
we
If
need
we're gonna
to.
keep trying to get these trophies.
Yeah, we need
Like,
to
can
figure
only
out
be
how to-
deceased items that you shove into this bag.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to make
Don't
the
buy it.
the poop technology, poop tunnel technology.
Oh yeah, right to our
Except
keep.
except it just deposits it right in the middle of our
Yeah.
keep.
people are
just like
waiting all day to see what
That's
shows up today.
and just body parts are just falling randomly out of the sky.
What are the
We should-
boys sending today?
Yeah.
We should rename this campaign to Granite-back Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, so you guys swim forward to a large domed building that has some stairs going down, and hence that when you go in, you'll see an antechamber there, and that's where you'll see all the smithing, like iconography. And then there's a long hallway, and he never got to the end of the long hallway, so he didn't get real far into this building.
What prevented you from getting into the long hallway?
He was
could
going to
only,
die.
yeah, he could only breathe salt water for an hour.
He only had
So-
half an hour travel in every direction.
Yep.
Before he had to get back. And that's if he was cutting it close.
I
That
forgot about
is
that.
Definitely
Or not trying to
technical.
dodge sharks.
There's that too. So, but now that you guys cast water breathing on him and he can breathe salt
He's
water, he's good, and he's very excited to explore some more things.
Now that he's got people that can defend him against a ridiculously large predator.
Yep.
Yo,
So that's the antechamber that you get to go in.
I'm really sad I shot at you guys. What a wonderful sentence.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
really,
really
sorry
sorry
I
I
shot at
shot
you
you.
guys.
Yeah,
Don't,
dude, we just-
honestly, I think I'd respond with "Don't be." We're kind of used to that. Like when we show up, people just start by shooting.
I
that's
think we
most
just
of the
kinda show up
places
and
we
start
go.
shooting most of the time, though.
That, not we don't. We
Yeah,
tr-
no, we do.
No, only if we're
really
shot
do.
at first. We are after the remake Han Solo.
Yeah.
I think Jeff, they're counting your terrible heralds as shots fired.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so you go down, you swim down into the antechamber, and immediately you follow some stairs down underground, and the hallway bends and heads to the south. So I'm guessing you're gonna go south.
Oh, Mav, you're not a shark anymore. I'll unpolymorph
Yeah,
you.
because
I think he's
Mav would
frozen.
not fit in here.
It's true. I think
Yeah,
he's
you are
gone.
there. I think he's gone.
hey guys, I think he's gone.
No, he's still
Hey.
right there. We can see him.
I think he's gone.
Oh! He's catching up.
He's back.
He's muted though. He can't hear
I
us.
can hear everything that you guys say.
That's
Oh,
not true.
I
really
can't hear
funny.
you.
No, you can't.
You can't hear me.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you get
Maybe,
to a
maybe
hallway.
we can. We just choose not to.
And
You
it
ever think about
splits
that?
in-
No, you only think about yourself.
Why is this happening?
Because Adam's just deciding to be punchy all of a sudden.
Yep.
I'm really super tired, guys.
Payback.
Yeah, it's clear.
What's that? What's that?
So you get to a T in the hallway, and it splits to the left and to the right. You can see
I do that
what
sometimes.
at one point in time. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Halfway down this hallway, you got into another one of those barriers. This is air on the other side of this.
Very cool.
So
Check for
Yep.
traps, Thanak.
I assume that Thanak is always checking for traps, so I can just let him know when he needs to make a roll to see if he spotted the one that's there.
I appreciate
or
you.
the issue with it. I think that's. Otherwise, you're rolling all the time. It's just a waste of rolls.
I'm fine with that.
Yep. So do you want to head to the hallway, the longer hallway that looks like it does open up into a room that away?
I'll just be like, Herman, right?
Yeah, he
Also
starts
known as
scuttling
Henry.
around.
Had you come just a little bit further, there's air in here.
Correct. But had I not found air, then I would have just died.
High risk, high reward, my friend. That's how you level up.
Just shut up.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
What do you mean, shut up? That's the only reason we're legendary.
No. No.
So do you guys want to go towards the fountain or towards the open room?
I like the fountain. It's
Yeah,
glowing.
let's do the fountain.
Okay. So you head towards the fountain, and it fills out into a decent-sized room. And as you approach the fountain, the water begins to writhe very quickly and swirl around.
Wait, say it again?
As you approach the fountain, the water gets very tumultuous and starts to writhe and swirl around.
And this is all still underwater, correct?
Nope, you pass through a barrier into dry hallway.
That's what,
There now.
right.
That's
okay,
what I was
okay.
picking on
right
Herman
about
for.
there, actually.
Okay.
Nah, let's put it down here. We'll make the whole hallway water.
That way
Otherwise,
Herman...
Herman would have been able to see it.
Okay. Is the water reacting to our presence? Is that what's going on?
It appears so, very violently.
Well, let's attack it. That doesn't seem like it's good.
I literally just got done saying we don't shoot first, and
We
Okay.
didn't.
All right, well, let's roll initiative. And you watch as a gigantic, water-looking humanoid shoots up out of the fountain and bellers really loudly. And I think actually that's where we're gonna stop. That's a good initiative.
do you want the
It's
initiatives then?
9:30. It is 9:30.
Can you see what this thing is?
No.
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 It's a large water human.
I was just about to cast Divine Sense too. As you said, let's kill it. I was going to
Get her.
utilize my paladin abilities.
Get her. All right. So we will pick up right there next week. I'll leave
All right,
you
I'm gonna
guys
stop the recording.
fighting whatever this